Well, many fans think that the answer to the Detroit Lions passing game is throwing the ball deeper and to get JMO involved in the passing game. You might be right, but you may also be wrong. The answer isn't just launching the ball deep 40 to 50 yards and thinking that that's the fix to everything. To be honest with you, the numbers for every quarterback in the NFL over 40 yards are very low. And Jared Goff is actually statistically one of the best deep ball passers in the NFL. And I know that's shocking because you're looking for that Maserati type play or the Bugatti going down the field at 150 miles per hour, catching a 45-yard pass in stride and going 80 yards like Tyreek Hill. How often does it happen? That's the question that I'm going to ask you. And do you consider actual stats in the NFL relevant to judge a quarterback? Because if you do, then you might want to look again. And I'll give you a site to go look at. It's called ProReferenceFootball.com. 20 plus yards is really the average in the NFL for what's considered a deep ball now. And honestly, it's considered an explosive play. And the Detroit Lions lead as a top 5 offense in explosive plays. As a matter of fact, they've been a top 2 offense for the majority of the season. Now, would I like to see JMO get more involved in the passing game? I would. Would I like to see more deep balls and long passes for touchdowns? I would. And I think I've been clamoring for that for the entire season. But I think realistically, we have to sit back and take a look at what's going on inside this offense. How has the NFL progressed? And what makes sense in today's offense? So let's break it down just a little bit. And that is what happened over the middle of the field over the last 10 seasons or so with NFL rules. Players can't get hit over the middle of the field when they're unprotected, right? So why would you want to throw the ball deep when you can throw the ball over the middle now? For many years, many quarterbacks and wide receivers were evading the middle of the field like a plague because they were getting knocked out cold. Careers were being ended early. Now it's considered a safe zone. Between the hashes is a perfect spot to target your wide receivers. Where does Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta do their best business? Between the hashes. So this video is also about JMO, and we know that he hasn't had a whole lot of touches. It's coming, right? Dan Campbell said just the other day that JMO's improving. My question is, what is he improving on? Why is he continually improving? Why is it so difficult to get him involved in the game plan? When you have multiple receivers that can do a myriad of things, and most of them are active within the game plan, sometimes your fourth look just isn't involved, and that's what JMO is in this offense. 20 yards is the going rate for the deep ball in the NFL. And for that to be considered an explosive play, the ball has to travel 20 yards before it is touched by a receiver. Is Jared Goff doing this? The answer is yes, and he has been the majority of the season. The difference in 2023 is the Lions have become more of a running team. We finally have a stable running back core with a good offensive line. Teeters on elite every other week. So why wouldn't you want to have the running game involved and try to control the clock? That is the essence of Dan Campbell's plan and what Ben Johnson's offense is designed to do. It's designed to slowly and methodically kill the clock, chew up yards, and get scores. In the event that they need to get scores quickly, they can open up the up-tempo, do a 2-minute offense, and find a score within 3 plays, which we've seen quite a few times this season. The answers to all of the questions that you're asking about JMO, I don't have. But the answers to Jared Goff rely upon the stats. And I know that's not the answer you want to hear. But it's not going to matter if you have a quarterback in there that is Mahomes, Tua, Lamar Jackson. It doesn't matter. Nobody is throwing the ball at a deeper clip than Jared Goff, or he's pretty much level with those guys. But the one thing that I will say is this. When you become pretty vanilla in an offensive scheme like we've seen the last few weeks, defenses are going to start to figure you out. That is the one thing that does need to be fixed. If you're not going to take deep shots and make the defense play you more honestly, then they're just going to sit inside the middle of the zone and wait. And they're going to bottle you up and you won't have anywhere to go. That's what we're seeing. But a few things that I want to point out before I go, and that's that despite previous thoughts on Goff's throwing ability, he is one of the most accurate passers in the NFL. And he's one of the most accurate passers on the deep ball. He has a completion rate over 51.4%, which ranks 6th or better in the NFL among quarterbacks with 10 or more attempts. Brock Purdy has the best completion percentage of 55.3. Now, when you look at the grand scheme of the quarterbacks that reside at the upper echelons of the NFL, there is a stark difference between some of them. Some of them are mobile quarterbacks. Some of them are pure pocket passers. Some are a little bit of both. At the end of the day, their offensive schemes are designed around them to be successful and for the offense to work. The Lions have been a top-tier offense now going on 2 seasons. Scoring the most points through 5 weeks of last season has really never stopped outside of a couple of games where they've struggled. And that's going to happen against some defenses in the NFL. They're not going to be able to be perfect. They're not going to go undefeated, at least not yet. But what they will do is compete, and they will find a way to win. Absolutely agree with a lot of you that JMO needs to get more involved. While the 51.4% of passes are connecting and top 6th in the NFL, Jared Goff is very accurate as well. 85.3% of Goff's passes over 20 yards are connecting, and they are very accurately thrown. That's the 8th best mark in the NFL. To paint you even a better picture, Goff has thrown for more than 554 yards, 5 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions on deep shots. So that's the answer. So we think if you're that successful, why is Ben Johnson not calling them? And why is JMO not involved? So I think that's it. I think that answers the question. And you have to rely upon the information and the stats that are out there that guide you. Ben Johnson is not dialing up the long plays for a reason. Maybe he's waiting for the postseason. Maybe he's waiting for when we really need it. Those are answers I can never give you. And we're going to have to wait until every Sunday or Saturday to see what happens. Well, that's it for this edition of Rocked On Detroit Lions. I certainly appreciate all of you being the best sponsors and supporters of this channel. If this is the first time that you've caught this podcast on YouTube, we certainly would appreciate you guys coming on in, checking if you've subscribed, and join us for the rest of the season and beyond. We've got some amazing content coming to you guys and some new shows that'll be popping up in the off season. So that's it for me today. Go in pride, go Detroit Lions. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.